when trouble hits nowadays, what's your response like? And this comes to everything, every walk of life, whether it's business, whether it's your health, whether it's every day, your situations, what where your life is heading, your personality, your character. Do you respond to trouble or do you react? So responding always wins because it's thoughtful, it's purposeful, and I'm thinking 5 steps ahead of how this decision will impact. So we have a question. What's the question, Sunny? We have a question.
Question. What is the difference between reaction and response?
That's the question. Now, what's the answer, you may ask? You've come to the right podcast today. When trouble hits, and it's happening quite often nowadays, being that we're in like hashtag COVID-19, right? A lot of things are coming up.
COVID-19 going till COVID-21.
Yeah, I hope we don't. I hope not bad. I hope we don't actually get censored, right? They're gonna whenever you mention COVID, you're done, right? So when trouble hits nowadays, what's your response like? And this comes to everything, every walk of life, whether it's business, whether it's your health, whether it's every day, your situations, where your life is heading, your personality, your character. Do you respond to trouble or do you react? Because there's a very big difference. Yeah. Mm-hmm. When you react, it's not exactly going to be with the best outcome in mind, right? Yeah. And I think there's a lot
reaction
of
is basically like, if we define respond and react differently, reaction is basically just mindless response to something. Like react is you touch something hot and then you immediately react by taking your hands off it. So it happens immediately and you didn't have to put much effort into thinking about it, and it just happens. Or if somebody cuts you off in a line and if somebody pushes you and you push them back, so it's just a react.
It's like
instinctively you do it, but you're not thinking about an outcome after that, but it's just your defense mechanism, or it's just an autopilot mode you're going in. Whereas respond would be something people more curate a whole pathway about responding to a situation, like if I do this, what will happen after that.
So it's more like a response is a thought out action, right?
Yeah.
Knowing, like thinking, okay, if I do this, then this will happen, right? Whereas an instinct, and as you said before, I thought that's a good thing to pick up on. You said, if I touch my hand on something hot and you pull back, right? Mm-hmm. Now that's a reaction. So there are some times when reactions are good.
Yeah.
Now that's our physical, biological reaction built in because, hey, pain, you want to get away from pain, right?
Yeah.
But we've also built in some reactions which are really bad, right? Which is to get aggressive with someone when someone cuts you off in line, when someone cuts you off in the car. And we tend to do these stupid things, right? So, as an example, you look at these people, you remember the butterfly effect?
Yeah.
Right? If you haven't seen the Butterfly Effect, some awesome movie. And it's also twisted.
Yeah, it's going to twist your brain.
Very twisted. But it's because I love what it means. And the whole point is of when you do something, there is an outcome. There's a result of your action.
Every small action has like a big domino butterfly effect, like bigger action. Like it ripples. And in the end, after all these times, it turned out to be something
100%.
else.
We should have called this the butterfly effect.
It
is and it's not, because the main point of this really is actually just thinking about how move 1 relates to move 2. Because a lot of people think, and the reason I brought that up was there was a scene where, part of this movie is where he's trying to change the future by in fact changing an incident that happened in the past, right?
Yeah.
And so he goes back in the past to try and fix something, but he gets angry at someone. And he doesn't respond, he reacts by hitting this guy, getting into a fight, and he smacks him and basically he murders the guy, right? Because he gets the baseball bat and he just fall out. All of a sudden the guy's gone, goes to jail, right? Now that is reaction that is not good, right?
Yeah.
Now that's where reaction can take us. Whereas if he responded, he may have got pushed by the guy, but instead he took a breath and may have thought, well, what happens if I go ahead on my next step, right? And so that's where it all comes through, And I think it's really important to understand that reaction is inbuilt, you know, and it's not because it's not just nature. Maybe you've witnessed your parents, your family, you've been around people, and you saw that the way that they handled things, you know, may have been.
And you think that's the right way to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, if someone hits you, hit them back 3 times.
Now, is that the right way to do it, son?
Depends how many people they are with.
Hell yeah! Now, see, that's the way it goes, right? But
yeah, it's actually, you have to assess. If you hit back that person, he has like 5, 6 people, are you gonna get smashed? Then, if yes, then maybe not the right thing to do. Then respond, don't react.
That's funny. Please, any legal rights or disclaimer here? No. It's just like how, you know, what's going to happen next, right? And it's really important to note that because it comes down to everything. We're in a place now where a lot of things are happening. People are losing their jobs, you know, and the way that they choose to, you know, make a decision against that is big, you know. So if they react in a bad way, it's going to affect them.
Yeah.
Whereas if they respond thinking, how do I purposefully think about providing for my family? How do I take care of my health? And all these sorts of things, they'll get such a much better outcome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It decides their whole trajectory, like where they have to go. Like a quick reaction will not serve any good purpose than a thought or response.
That's right.
Yeah.
And there's a couple of ways to go about this, right? So, you know, as I mentioned some examples, you know, it's just a simple, it can be major, but it can also be minor. And you want to start in building this in the minor actions, right? So when something small happens, like someone cutting you off or someone taking your car park, right? Have you ever waited in the car park, someone takes your car park? Maybe you haven't because you don't drive. But I have, okay? And you know, you've been waiting there, blinkers on, this guy pulls in and he just takes it from you. And inside you're burning and you want to get out. And you basically want to put wrap a bag around this guy's head and put it around the exhaust and just... No, I'm just kidding. That went far real quick. See, I didn't think before I said that. No, I did. And
that's your thought of reaction.
whoa, there you go. And so, you know, normally you just want to sit there, wait, yell at the guy and give him a piece of your mind. But that's more of a reaction of what's internally trying to drive you. Whereas if you were to think about it, you'd be like, logically, okay, I can do that. But if I do that, I'm actually just going to waste time. I may get into an argument with this guy. And you know what? It might just ruin my day and his day. He may take it home to his family and he may be upset then with his kids, his family, and it's going to pass on, right?
Yeah.
So when you think about it and you're purposeful, you're like, well, you know what? I'm just wasting time. Let me just go drive and find another car park.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I've wasted even more time.
Yeah. People take it the other way, that you're saying like you should be a pushover, you should not be a pushover. But it's not about being a pushover, it's about respecting your energy more and efforts more than...
That's exactly right.
If someone's that dumb and stupid, you don't want to invest their energy and your time with someone like that. And what's the final outcome from that will not help you in anything. Like if you... By taking time to respond, you can actually see like the final outcome would not be something that will be contributing to me. It's not going to give me money or give me time, give me positivity. So why should I invest my energy into it? Even if you argue in this example, even if he argues with the guy and he gives him the spot, he wasted 5-7 minutes arguing with him, getting the spot, and that guy doesn't have a spot. And that guy now is angry and he might do something with his car when he's gone.
That's right.
So
it's just more of a like, it can lead to more things that are actually out of your favor, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
The other, then, you know, and then a major one may be, you know, something like, well, okay, let's say you lost your job during the COVID pandemic, right? And you're not in a situation where you're getting job seeker. You know, most people may just react and be stupid. You know, some people, and I've seen this at the shop, their reaction is, how am I going to get money? And rather than just thinking about, you know, trying to do the right thing, they go, okay, they start stealing. Like I've seen this, right? Now this is more of an extreme case, but here's an example. They start stealing from Woolworths, and when they go there, they start taking, you know, things and putting it in their trolley at the back, so they get away with it. Yeah, they take $30-40 here, right? But the person that would respond would think, shit, this sucks. And they evaluate, what can I do to make money? And be purposeful, but what's my next move ahead? See, if the other guy gets caught, he's ruined his personality, his character, his morale. And if he gets in trouble with police, obviously, you know, things will escalate. Whereas this other person that's thinking about it and responding is like, well, okay, what are my options? Can I go online? Can I do this? Can I do that? And that's really important. Can I start dropshipping? Where can I make money today?
Yeah.
So responding always wins, you know?
Yeah.
It's pretty clear to see that, I think, you know? It's purposeful. Yeah.
Because you're thinking about before doing that thing. So it's like, I like how the way you said to me before, it's like a chess game. Like your responses are like a chess game, and then you're taking out a pawn and planning your next move with every of them. So you're actually in the driving seat of what you're doing. But if you're just reacting, then you're not playing chess. You're playing like boxing. You might get hit in the face.
That's exactly right. If you do, that's exactly right. And if you go and try and take that pawn piece out in that game, but you didn't actually think about the next move after that, well, you may have actually just set yourself up, to be swiped out.
Yeah.
Yeah. So responding always wins because it's thoughtful, it's purposeful, and I'm thinking 5 steps ahead of how this decision will impact someone else. Like when I'm about to get into an argument with someone at home back, when I was a hothead, I didn't think about that. I just used to think, I'm angry now, so I'm going to yell.
Yeah.
What?
There's so many people I didn't punch in the face because I didn't want to be in jail.
Jail time is not made for people like Sonny and I. You know what I mean? It's just not.
Yeah. But this is something like mostly happens especially with short temperament people, like short-term reactions, which backfire a lot. Like, because when I was in my uni days, I used to fight. Like, I didn't used to fight. People used to come and push you and do whatever. So you end up in arguments, and you can go two ways. You can either, like, someone pushes you, can push them back, and then you can start a fight. Or if someone pushes you, you can just assess the situation, and then you can approach that guy and say, are you okay? Is there something you need help with?
Yeah, you can actually sort of like evaluate and say, well, wait, is something actually going on in this guy's life as well?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you're actively thinking. You're not a brainless robot that's on autopilot. Oh, he pushed me. I have to be angry now, so let's be angry.
Yeah.
It's more like, okay, let's use this big brain up here, big guy.
Yeah, it is satisfying to use at that point to push it. Like you get to push it, like and then push that guy back. But in the end outcome, if you think about the bigger game, the end outcome doesn't really come in your favor. And how to actually avoid these immediate actions is always take a step back and look at the situation from a third perspective. So if somebody else took your spot, as your parking example, like if that happens to me, I would look at is like if someone else look at our situation, and then everyone knows that this guy did the wrong thing. But if this guy goes and argues with him, then he's just wasting his time and then energy and efforts into it. And the same with if you're if you have that issue with the guy pushing you, and you see this as the point of view of people around you, you see that this guy pushed him and this guy pushed him back. So it just did tit for tat, and they're both stupid. Whereas if you didn't do it and you reacted in a better way, people will think, okay, this guy actually got his shit sorted. This guy's a dick.
No, that's right.
Yeah, so you put yourself back and see, if I react that, first of all, have a third perspective, and then see these ways. If I react like this way, what's the outcome? If I react this way, what's the outcome? If I react the other way, what's the outcome?
Jocko Willink,
he
had a really good way he put this, and I love it. By the way, he's a brute of a man. If you don't know who he is, like biggest badass guy. You would not want to come up in an alleyway, even with 5 guys behind you. Like if you were the guy that had 5 guys behind you with him, you'd still not want to go in, right? But what I really liked what he said is, he says, okay, when I'm in a conversation with someone and I'm noticing someone's getting angry, he always takes a step back. Instead of looking at him or the person in the argument, he takes a step back and then analyzes it all. And he's thinking about it from that third party perspective. But he goes deeper and says, okay, why is this person angry? And he starts thinking about it from their side, their point of view. Okay, wait a second. Why is that? Why might he or she get angry from this? Maybe there is something going on. And so he's actually reading it from a different perspective rather than just the whole himself. Because himself is going to think about what he wants. And rather he's actually looking at it without any bias of
Yeah.
him or her.
Like an outside perspective.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I think that's so powerful. So
Yeah.
whenever you're in that situation as well, if it's obviously like that type of situation, it's important to step back and look at it.
Yeah, it could sometimes be your fault too in a bit, not all the things, but like
sure.
for you, for example, not losing the job can be you didn't perform as other teammates performed, or your skills got redundant and you didn't upskill yourself. So if you look at it from an outside perspective, if a company wants to make money, you're not able to provide to make money, so it's kind of your fault too. Yes, they didn't train you, they didn't give you the proper training, and they didn't upskill you, but it's still your
That's
job,
right.
your career is your job.
Ownership.
So if you pull yourself out, and that bar thing can be like you walked in and then you were looking better than that guy, and he might be insecure, so he would do that. And that happens a lot of times. And the car spot thing can be like this. This car spot thing can be this guy actually saw the spot even before you, and you turn a cut before, and then he actually had that in mind all along, and you're the wrong person in his eyes because he has to go because he has the next barber appointment or whatever. So for him, you're the villain.
So I think to sum it up is really that to react is being mindless.
Yeah.
Reacting is simply you being on the hamster wheel and you see that
Instinctive.
there's something to run on, and so you run, but you don't really think about where is it taking you, right?
Yeah.
And so we want to get rid of that instinct, and we actually want to start being purposeful, meaning using your brain, because you have one. Believe it or not. Believe it or not. Ripley's, believe it or not. You've got one. So start using it. And the way to start using it is, first of all, anytime you come up, as we explained, into a situation that is small, I like to start off small, yeah? Of course, the big places is what matters the most. But to first react well in a big position, you lost your house burned down, you lost your job, your family, someone got sick, right? You start off by learning how to react. Rather than react, respond in the small situations. When you get cut off by someone, like we said, all these small examples, okay? Something small happened during the day. Things weren't going right. You dropped your coffee cup instead of, flipping out,
Yeah.
Instead of flipping out, take a breath in, take it out and think, okay, what is the best move now? Yeah, shit, I just dropped my coffee. Yeah, I can get upset, move on, and get another one, or get angry, ruin my entire day. So when you start off small like that, and you keep doing that day by day by day, all of a sudden things start getting better. And then, of course, is to practice that when the big things happen. When you're about to get into an argument, take a step back, take 3 breaths in, and think, if my next move is responding to them, is my next move to respond or to react, right?
Yeah.
And so I think it's just being conscious and being aware of, okay, where is this going to take me? And really just putting it into practice and understanding, where am I going? The next thing is just to understand, well, okay, what do you want, as a person? What are you after? Do you have anything in, like, when you can have things in line with yourself, as in, where do you want to be in the next 6 months? Is important. Not everyone has the 5-year goal, and I understand that. It's important, but if you at least know, where am I going to be in the next 6 months? It starts to help every decision you make be in line with
align with
who
that.
you want to be. And that way, it's a lot easier to start getting things running the way you want it, So then when you are faced with the decision of, oh shit, maybe I shouldn't smack this guy, because if I do...
if you want to be a men's physique athlete in 2 years, maybe you should not pick a fight and break your arms. You can't practice.
Like, it's so silly if you think about it, but it's also so realistic. It's like, well, sugar, that's pretty damn true.
Yeah.
And don't go skydiving if you're getting ready to go on a competition where you're supposed to, show your body off.
Well, skydiving, you can go, because if you f up, you just die, so...
True. We didn't think of that. Done. But so what do you have to take from this? When the situation comes up, don't react. Instead,
respond like this. Don't react.
Get on YouTube and watch that just then. I've got fire raging in my belly, but I'm holding it in. You know why? Because it's good for my metabolism.
Yeah.
My metabolism is literally blowing up right now, and I've just burned 5,000 calories.
And guys, you see a shot, take it.
Instead, pay your enemy with love.
Yeah.
You're a good man. Guys.
We'll catch you next time
Sure.
with something else.
Thanks, bro. Hopefully not a hit to the head.
Yeah, hopefully not.